Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Advanced Branding Collaborative. Tonight, this is going to be a very informal session where we're going to just talk about collaboration. We're going to interact with each other and get everybody's opinion on what collaboration is, what it means to them, and how they use it in their business. Very, very informal. So we have Wendy Mush. Wendy, you want to say hi? Doc Grayson.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Doc. Renee Chamberlain.
Hi, everyone.
Lorianne Campbell. Jenny Cowles from Down Under. And Rob Wall, who will eventually be on. And my name is Roy Miller. I'm from Dallas, Texas. So
why don't we just start too by introducing who we are, what we do. We already said, hey, Robert, there you are. And then that way we'll have better idea of where we can ask questions and interact. So Roy, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, sure.
Start that.
Okay. Since Rob, we'll start with you.
Okay. Sorry, bring me up to speed. I was transitioning from my phone to the computer.
Well, we've introduced everybody and just said this is an open forum tonight to talk about collaboration.
Awesome.
And just a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gosh, do you guys have 3 hours to sit here and listen to me? No, anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And I'm really glad I was able to connect today. I've missed a couple of them. So sorry about that. But this should be really fun today because I like some of these informal talks, where we have the opportunity to bounce ideas off. And just like the title, Advanced Branding Collaborative, collaboration is absolutely key in every single aspect of life. Quite frankly, collaboration, it's all about, your relationship, your marriage, quite frankly, even parenting and in the workplace, right? So if you think that you can get everything that you want out of life done all by yourself, you're absolutely mistaken. And if you don't have it yet, it's exactly because you have that mindset. So start thinking about how to collaborate with people, right? There aren't any, what do I want to say? There isn't competition in the world of business if you start to think of yourself as a true blue ocean and that you have something to offer that's completely different from everyone else. So Roy, that's what I love doing. I love collaborating. I love building businesses. I love working with people. I love smiling faces. And yeah, so it'll be fun today. So again, I'm Robert Wall. I'm here in Greenville, South Carolina, and welcome.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Okay, Doc.
I'll go next. I'm Doc Grayson. I kind of don't fit in real well here. Because back in 2013, 14, I had an internet radio show called on TalkZone.com. It was an internet radio station, and I did an hour-a-week show on marketing. But that was when the biggest thing was, it's 100% changed now. I don't even recognize it. If you listen to those, you'd think it was on some other planet. The main thing was emails and how to respond to emails. Websites were just beginning to grow and teaching that. So it has changed 100%. So it's just fun to sit here and learn about all the new stuff that, I had a foot in the beginning, but totally different now, totally changed.
So tell us a little bit more, Doc, though. Where are you from and a little bit about your background? So, because I know Renee she hasn't met you yet.
Okay. I'm originally from Chicago, lived there for the whole life. Moved up to La Crosse, Wisconsin 2 years ago. Taught school for 40 years, everything from first grade through, ended up in university. And I enjoyed first grade much more, first and second grade, although university was the easiest, that's for sure. But first, second grade, I really enjoyed because you learned how people learned, and it helped me teach forever. And then handwriting analyst, magician, did radio announcing for 18 years on the Chicago station where I was a Cub fan. We had the White Sox, so that was kind of hard to take. That was rough. But we had Harry Carey then, and he was a character. But anyway, had a great life. I've done everything I wanted to do, so I'm very pleased and happy.
Good.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
Renee, why don't you introduce yourself? You're our new person here.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'll go ahead. Where do I start? So my name is Renee. I live near Ottawa in Ontario, Canada. I live in a very small town and I've always lived here all my life. I've never moved. Sometimes I was a little bit disappointed even to say that, but after a while I was like, I should be proud of that. I mean, there's something to be said, you know, to be living in the same community. I know a lot of people here. Am I saying the right thing, going in the right direction? Yeah.
Yeah, just
I come from a family where most everyone is an entrepreneur. How do you say that in English? My heart, I have an entrepreneurial heart as well. For me, collaboration is working alongside someone else. I love that. And it's very, you know, I want to be humble as I love learning. And I think Doc was saying, you know, he's lived different things, and I believe that learning keeps you alive and going, right? So, right, a little bit about me.
And what do you do now, Renee? Why don't you share with us what you're doing now?
Yes, so right now I work with an online manufacturer, and I educate consumers on a different way of doing their shopping. Especially now with everything that's going on in our world, in our communities. Yeah, I do a lot of education, and that's it.
Very nice. Renee, I'm hearing just a little bit of it. Do you speak French?
You're very kind. You're hearing a little bit of it. Yes, I'm French.
Oh, your English is very well. I was wondering if that was your other language, because
yes.
I actually took 4 years of French and I've forgotten more than I remember. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can still understand a lot of it.
So where I live is a totally French community.
Okay.
okay.
So, practicing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Remember, Canada has two languages, French and English, which is why I taught French as well.
Yeah.
A lot of places, people may not like that, but it's true. It's our national language is French and English.
Who can be angry with French? I mean, it's the language of love. I mean,
right?
You have French and that other language.
Yeah. Well, look at Texas. Texas, they have a whole different type of English they speak down there.
Yeah, Texan. Yeah, Texan.
Texan.
Well, your English is very good if French is your first language.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One year I went to Montreal for a convention, and it was fun, but everything everywhere was first French then English, first French then English, first everything. No matter what they introduced, it was always that way.
I'm surprised Montreal. There's different sections of Montreal, though, that are actually English before French, believe it or not.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, there still are the English portions of Montreal. Not
The
Quebec,
West,
not Quebec City. No, that's all French. But Montreal still has the English parts of it.
The West Island of Montreal is all English.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was near McGill University, wherever that is.
That's where I went for a year.
Oh, is it?
Right downtown Montreal, but it depends on where downtown Montreal you go as well. Because
That's pretty wild stuff at downtown Montreal.
I know.
My eyes were shocked.
Crescent Street, party place.
Yeah, right.
That's where you were.
Let's go to Minneapolis. It's wild down there too.
Yeah. Hennepin Avenue, where all the hookers hang out.
Whoa. Well, welcome, Renee. On that note, welcome.
Hey, that is the longest profession ever. You can't kick it off right now, seriously. And one of the most successful ones that stayed all these years. We were talking about that last time when I did my presentation, right?
Yes,
And what do they have? They have an offer.
Yes, they do.
An irresistible offer.
To some
Well,
people.
For some people, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right, well, I will go next.
Perfect.
My name's Wendy Mush, and I don't know, I guess I kind of consider myself a jack of all trades, master of none. I have worked in education on and off throughout the years. I've done a lot of case management. I've lived in 5 different states, and so I've worked with all kinds of different groups of people in all kinds of different capacities. I also have worked quite a bit with people with disabilities, children and adults. And most recently now, I just got most of my course written. I'm so excited, and my focus is going to be on mindset.
Good
So
for you.
helping people overcome, figuring out how they lost themselves, particularly women, but and then understanding their limiting beliefs that are holding them back, and then overcoming them and changing their mindset with different types of activities. So really excited.
Very nice.
And so I'm collaborating. Oh, you guys don't know this, but I'm also collaborating with 3 other women to start a group for women who have experienced abuse. And so, Lorianne,
Fantastic.
we'd love to invite you to be a member of that group. If that applies to you in any way, Renee, we would be happy to have you be in the group as well. Jenny, I don't know that you've had that experience.
I'm going to let my sister know about that one, Wendy.
Yes.
It's really good.
When we're ready to launch, I will give you guys the link.
Yeah.
And Wendy, that would be both like mental and physical abuse, right? Because some people are physically abused, some people are mentally abused. So that would bring in either one or both, right?
Mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse.
Yeah, they're all mindset roadblocks, right? And so they're things that have to be overcome.
Yeah. Oh, I just got goosebumps.
It's very nice.
That's an awesome thing to do.
Do you want to go, Lorianne?
But I was thinking Jenny sitting there all comfy cozy. I was going to bug her to go next.
Okay, Jenny.
Hi everyone. Hang on, I'm going to try. Bonjour, je suis Jenny. J'habite de Brisbane, Australia.
Great.
Right.
Merveilleux.
No
took a little bit
parlez-vous
of French.
français?
Petit.
Next week we're doing the meeting in French, people.
No parlez-vous français? No. Hablo español un poco.
Okay.
I can do it in German, but then probably no one will understand one word. Oh, well, Robert might be. He's been working with BMW, so.
Wo ist ein nice Kanapa?
Is it?
Wo ist der nice Kappa?
Is it wie heißen Sie?
Wie heißen Sie? Yeah. What's your name?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
My Name is Jenny.
Yeah, 3 years of German in high school 100 years ago paid off.
One sentence, yay! But that's how my French goes as well. I think I had it for 3 years at school, and that's all I basically remember. But if you don't use it, you lose it. So yeah, that's the problem. So yeah, my name is Jenny. I'm originally from Germany, and I've been living over here in Australia for 7 years now. And I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm also a life coach, NLP master coach, and timeline therapy coach. And yeah, so for me, I'm fascinated by the human mind, by the human potential, and also connection how to really connect with others on a heart level and to really have a deep connection with people. So I'm really fascinated by that, and I love connecting with others. And yeah, so collaboration is a big part of my life, and I'm just a people person. I just love talking to people and getting to know each other. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
And she has a
And
beautiful daughter named Bella.
Bella, yeah, I've
And
got
a
two.
son
I've
named
got
William.
Bella and William. Yeah, William's 5 and Bella's 3 now.
Perfect.
Okay, Lorianne.
Yeah.
So me, I am just recently master's certified handwriting analyst, first one in Canada. Pretty excited about that. Thank you. And then I'm really excited too, Renee, this is exciting too. We have a book, and Doc, thank you. Doc actually wrote a testimony on this. Makeup Not Required, How to Brand the True You.
Right.
I came up with the idea. I am co-authoring it with Robert, but we also have in collaboration, Roy, Wendy, and Jenny are all a part of it. They all have a page in it to talk about collaboration, and which is
Wow.
nice because now we're all published authors, and we also have our 2 first pre-orders. So I know it's
Very
just
nice.
2, but you know what? Baby steps. That's exciting. I also do graphotherapy. I also took the Prism Life Design coaching program, which encompasses, much like my colleagues here at the NLP and such. My biggest thing though is in the handwriting, the graphotherapy, how you can take your handwriting and look at it and see where the neuropathological pathways to your fingers are saying to you, wow, you really probably should be looking at this and change your handwriting, change your life. So that's my big goal right now.
Okay, good.
And by the way, you know, I'm from Milton, Ontario, Canada, not too far from you, only about 5
Right.
hours drive.
That's it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, I'm born in Dallas, Texas. I do social media, mostly Facebook, and I'm a co-podcaster with Lorianne. And for me, I guess I didn't know it at the time, but I started collaborating, if you will, back probably in the 80s when I moved out of the field into the office, and I started having to interact with architects, engineers, other project managers, general contractors. I would go to meetings and, I would start developing relationships with our customers, architects, engineers, all those people. So it made the process of managing a project, or my part of the project management, a lot easier, having those relationships, having people you could contact if you had a problem. So at the time, I didn't really realize, it was collaboration, so to speak. At the time in our business, relationships through the 70s and into about probably the mid to late 80s was really strong. When it got to the 90s, it got to be money, not so much relationships. And it's still pretty much that way, although you still have relationships. And so for me, that's kind of where I got involved in collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. You guys know how many times I've actually said the words relationship before transaction. And unfortunately, especially in the world of social media, I know I'm speaking for myself, but probably all of you as well, your messenger, your inbox, all those things, it gets inundated with people that just do the hard pitch without actually getting to know you, to building that real genuine relationship. And quite frankly, they're missing out so much on the sale because one, a hard pitch is typically a turnoff for a lot of people. So even if they have a great product or service, right, it's now kind of null and void because you're like, I don't want to hear anything about it because they didn't build a relationship. And two, when you build a relationship, you actually may find that that person doesn't even fit the product, but because of the fact that you collaborate with so many other people, you may know someone that is a perfect fit for them, right? And so, the opportunity is your sale could actually be bigger or more fulfilling. And so anyway.
Well, through, like you're saying, Rob, with other people, you know, you can become a connector, or you can be connected through other people.
That's right. Yep.
I'm really actually quite excited because that's how Renee came on here, was through collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing for us is, you know, she did the interview for me. I really appreciate it. Then that way we built that relationship, and then she told me what she was doing. I told her what I was doing, and we said, well, how can we help each other?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's amazing. And of course, I just love this lady. I think she's wonderful. So that also works too, because when you start to talk to people, I mean, they may not like you. Well, then those are the people you don't want on your collaboration team anyway. So that doesn't bother me. But when you do like that person, it really does make a difference. Look at us here, right? It's like,
yep.
Except Robert, you're probably hating me for actually going after you about the book for the last frickin' 3 weeks. I've been such a...
We're family. We're family.
I'm not going to use the word.
we're family, good times and bad times. but that's the exciting thing about collaboration. And you nailed it, Lorianne, when you stated that if you attempt to get to know someone and you don't even like them to begin with, then they're not even someone that you want on your team, or that you want to build a relationship with, or to even, quite frankly, I mean, even sell a product to, right? Because at that point in time, it's a short-term sale for long-term pain based on that relationship. So yeah, that's why knowing, I mean, all the things that you guys have been actually talking about over the last few weeks, you know, knowing who your audience is, knowing your tribe, building relationships, and then being able to present with an irresistible offer is so key. And also understanding that some will and some won't. It's okay. A lot of people say, so what? But I like to say, you know, some will, some won't, and it's okay. So a lot of times I've had some of my own clients that have actually spent almost, and I still call them client, they've spent zero, if not a very low amount of money with me, and yet they've given me my biggest leads and biggest opportunities that have led to my biggest sales. And so to me, that is the perfect client. It isn't about the product and service that I've sold them. It's about the relationship. So anyway, I love that. It's key.
If we count here too, I've collaborated with Roy on the podcast, and Wendy, thank you for introducing me to Forbes. I collaborated with her on that. Jenny, I'm not quite sure. We collaborated on the book. And then Doc, of course, we collaborated on a lot of things. Renee and Robert. So everyone on the screen here, I've had some collaborative experiences with, which is exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Rob, I heard that expression back in the 80s. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next?
Yeah. See, that's exactly right. That's why I've kind of changed that a little bit, because you do hear that a lot. Most of you know that when I first started to get away from corporate coaching, I started working with a lot of home-based business owners, right? And so people that were in MLMs, network marketing type businesses. And so I actually became kind of an expert in understanding that industry, that field, regardless of the product. And unfortunately, so many companies have horrible training because they don't talk about collaboration, right? It is all about that hard pitch. It's the, you know, well, if they say no, then it's on to the next, and it's on to the next, and it's on to the next. And that may prove to actually ramp up a lot of sales initially, or recognition, or advancements, or whatever it may be. But it's short-lived. It's typically very short-lived, because then you start burning those people out, especially if you're bringing people into a business and you can't even coach and train them. It's like one of the components that's always missing in business is bringing people into a business, and then you can't even coach them. You're just expecting them to be maybe self-motivated like yourself. And I think most of us know that there's really only about 5% of us that are self-motivated, and 95% of us need some type of mentorship or coaching or someone to help, you know, lead them through the way. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Roy. It was just like, I even heard that comment a year ago with a company that I was looking into. They were like, you know, It was some will, some won't, so what? And I think they even threw an explicit word in there as well. And I was like, all right, you're not the kind of person that I want to do business with. So
we have to consider the timing of the other person, right? I mean, you might be contacting them or connecting with them at a time which is not the right time for them. So
absolutely,
we just have to take them where they're at.
Yeah, that's so true, Renee. And if you've planted the seed properly and you're there, for them unconditionally, whether they do business or not, then if the time arises, you will reap the reward.
But here's where collaboration comes in too, because if that person's not ready right at that time, there are still ways of actually helping each other.
That's right.
Which, of course, Renee, we talked about that. You said if you're not ready, because I signed up with her group. But she says, if you're not ready, that's fine. And I said, well, even if I wasn't ready, the thing is that I'm there willing to help to promote her. And then she's willing to promote me. So even, again, what you were saying, the leads are not even just who you know, but how you can say, hey, you know what? I know this lovely lady and she's offering this product and I absolutely love it. Please contact her. Even if I can't afford it at that particular time, I can actually tell people, I know the product really well. So for me, that's easy. But you can even send a couple of samples of it. Can you try this out? And then if you like it, can you help me to collaborate, to get it out there and get more people known? Because everybody knows other people.
Yes.
So true. So true. While you guys are continuing to talk about it, I'm going to pull up something that I actually had on collaboration real quick here.
Okay, are you going to be sharing a screen?
No, I'm just going to
If you can.
Here. I just like this because we actually used it, I think, in one of our webinars, but I thought this was kind of interesting. So the word collaboration, the dictionary, so by all terms, it actually gives two different definitions. The action of working with someone to produce or create something, right? And that's what we talked about before. And sometimes the thing that you're actually producing or creating, right, or a true product, it can actually be a stronger relationship. It can be a connector. I know you guys use the word as far as being a connector in that relationship. So all those things are good, but this was kind of interesting. I just wanted to throw it out there so that people can kind of think about this. The other definition, when I pulled this up, like I said, months ago when we were looking at just the word collaboration, a traitorous cooperation with an enemy. Have you guys actually seen that before? So I thought that was kind of interesting because I think that isn't like who we are, right? But I do want to bring it up because I think it's important that people understand in the world of social media, in the world of online marketing and building this space, this business, there are people that truly, they're wolves in sheep's clothing, right? They figure out how to kind of infiltrate the organization in some way or your group. And now typically you can weed those people out very fast. But I think it's important to understand that, collaboration, there's people that actually attempt or pretend to collaborate really only in the benefit of self. And so,
sorry guys, I invited Ray on here. I know that she's like that. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
No, you're supposed to laugh at that. You missed that altogether.
Yeah, she might have not. But that's why I just wanted to mention, though, it was important to really understand that people do need to know that there's the two definitions, because I say, then don't be that person regardless. Even if you don't think you're that person, you could become that person if the act of collaboration is only self-driven, right? Or just to benefit self. So collaboration is not just working with someone to produce or create something, but it's being very genuine and caring about that person that you're collaborating with, right? Like each and every one of us have been through great times and we've been through some low times together. But the point of the matter is really understanding what's going on in that person's life is another key component of collaboration, because when one person, I mean, let's look at this as a collaborative, right? The ABC. When one person is feeling down and unproductive, then it's good for the group to actually be that crutch, to actually help them through that. And sometimes it's nothing more than just asking, do you need anything? And sometimes people do need to work out things on their own, unfortunately, but that's all about mindset, right? Those are all the things that each and every one of us teach on a regular basis. So sorry, I got off on a tangent, but I really wanted to give the definition of the two things, because it's important to know that
Yeah.
be the person that collaborates just for self, right?
Actually,
Can I say
interesting.
something, Rob? Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jenny, it'd be interesting to find out, because Wendy and Jenny have been a little quiet. What is your idea of collaboration?
Well, I just wanted to add on what Rob says. I think that when someone really only collaborates to their own advantage, I think it's really being in that scarcity mindset, being
Absolutely.
in that mindset of not enough, and there's not enough for everyone, and I can't, if someone thinks I can't stand it when others succeed and I don't, that's really that scarcity mindset and that ego kicking in, and trying to basically protect yourself, because it's hard for people when they're in a scarcity mindset to actually be happy for others when they succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, we see that in our own industry, even as whether you're a coach, you're an author, you're a small business owner. If you view the world and the people next to you that are arm in arm as competitors, if you're always in competition with each other, it's that scarcity mindset once again. But I found, again, there's more than enough to go around. And there's always leftovers at the table. Most people walk away from the table without actually taking the food with them, right? So there's an opportunity for all of us.
There was the other thing too that somebody said to me, and that's very clear. Okay, is it just wear the blinders, go forward, stop looking at your competition, because if you take too much time doing that, you're never going to move forward. Obviously, it's intelligent to learn from them, but if you spend your time and you're obsessed with your competition, you're just not going to be able to move forward. You've really got to put those blinders on, go, this is what I'm doing, this is my unique way of going with it, I'm going to bring these people on. And like you said, Robert, there's enough for everybody, but if you spend too much time worrying about everybody else, you're not going to go anywhere.
Or comparing yourself to other people as well. That's another thing that can actually hold you back in your own venture of life. So very good. What are I didn't know if you had some other points to bring up, but what are some ways that you've collaborated that have actually turned out to be amazing successes? I mean, does anyone have a short story they'd like to share?
Wendy, do you have anything?
Well, I'm on my way to success with these other three ladies, but nothing that I can pinpoint at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So Wendy keeps forgetting that we did collaborate in some form with, we're going to mention Forbes, because you came and you asked, and there's a team, and you said, is there anyone interested, and reached out, because that's what we're talking about. Do you know anybody that might be interested in this, right? And if you don't reach out and you don't ask for that collaboration, you're not going to get it. So I could go out and I could send it to 20 people that I know that might be interested in it. Wendy reached out, and then I'm willing to do that. That's collaboration. And I thank you for that, because guess what? I signed up for it. So kind of,
and I thank you for that.
I think one great example would be actually how a few of us have met within the group. And that was, we were all strangers, or at least I think most of us were at some point, of course. And then just the act of wanting to work with each other at different levels, at different times, and it slowly, that relationship starts to evolve. And it kind of brings me back to my catalyst that segues into collaborating, and that is just serving. I talk a lot about that, but just to serve. You start serving people, like, you know, how can I help you with your business? Is there any little advice that, you know, that, or maybe a roadblock, and I can maybe give you some advice based on experience, or maybe introduce you to someone, like you just said, Lorianne, introducing you to someone else, you know, because I have a relationship with this person. I mean, you're doing it without, you know, actually receiving immediate monetary gratification, right? But the idea is you're serving, you're building a relationship, and there's beautiful things that blossom from that, both monetary and otherwise, right? So
I'll
Doc,
give my, oops.
Go ahead, Renee, and then we'll ask Doc, because I want to get a little
Sure.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll give you my example about me approaching other ladies in the Canadian Women in Business group. And I'm sorry, my sons are just walking in the back.
That's
trying to hide them.
This is about. No worries.
So yeah, I'm just approaching ladies, and I've put the offer out there. If anyone wants to join me on a Zoom, I go through an interview, and what I do is I just ask the basic questions about their business. I record it, and every Friday at noon, I post it in the group. I've been doing this for, well, since January. I did it a bit last year, but this year is recorded in like a live interview, right? And I've created relationships with, you know, a few ladies, not all of them, because there has been many, but, you know, and I've purchased in their businesses, and I can refer them now because I know them better. I know their product. So that's been a good collaboration that I've been doing in that group, and I so enjoy it, you know.
That's interesting. An interesting means of how to build that relationship was with that Zoom.
Yes.
How we got to build ours.
Correct.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Doc, do you have anything to say about collaboration?
No, I think it's important. I'm working, of course, collaborating right now with Charles on putting his presentation together for the convention. But I look at this group, a great group of that. I'm not here to pick your brain, but if I have a question or I need support, this is where I can come to. And by asking people to come in, as we all do, I think it's much better than opening up to the public, because you can always get somebody that can ruin it in an instant. They can just take it, run with it, and it's over. But if we carefully choose, not that we're picky, but if you carefully choose somebody that would fit in and want to use the group, not use the group. And that's my feeling on collaboration. I think it's important.
I like that. Use the group, not use the group.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And most of you, and I don't know word for word verbatim, but you know the analogy, have you seen it before, where a single pencil breaks on its own, but if you put them in a bundle, right, you can't break it. And that to me is the strength of collaboration as well. You know, we're not here, as you said, Doc, to use one another, but to actually support, right? And to just help and to serve in any way that we have capacity to do so. So
a secondary use is using the knowledge, not using the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Using the knowledge, using the experience. Yeah, because each one of us has, I mean, now I'm getting back into personal branding, but each one of us has a different story. That's what makes each and every one of us unique. And that's why collaborating with others is even, to me, even more exciting and beneficial, because every one of us has a different strength.
Right.
And which actually helps crutch the weakness, because we all have something that, you know, we're weak in or need support in as well. So, yeah.
And I'm sure right here, every one of us has had a challenge, except for maybe Doc, because apparently he just lived the perfect life. So bothered by you. Well, we've all had obstacles to overcome through our lives, and which make us stronger. So each one of us have experiences that we can actually share with each other, right? I can tell you, I know every single one of our obstacles in life here. Except for Renee, I don't know yours, but we'll learn about that one later.
Yes.
Other than trying to get your sons to wear shirts.
Yes.
I don't need all of it.
Oh my God, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Don't worry.
Here's the funny thing. Actually, that's pretty welcome. I mean, Roy usually comes on these with his shirt off, but we've told him to start wearing the shirt. So
Okay.
And Doc too.
Yeah, that's right. Doc too.
Okay.
And then we have beautiful Bella. William doesn't come on too often, but Bella will come on when Jenny's here. We get to say hi to her. This is what's so lovely about this group. And every now and again, Wendy will look up to somewhere. We don't know who she's talking to, but there's people.
Usually when you have children, right? It's
usually my son.
Yeah, I was going to say it's one of two expressions. It's with a smile or
I was actually telling my son the other day, I said, you know, in a few months, we'll have all kinds of stories about Zoom, and then all kinds of pictures and videos of people on Zoom with funny stories, you know?
Yeah. It's true.
Robert, that was really funny.
He'll stay in his room for hours at a time, and as soon as I get on a Zoom, that's when he wants to come out and talk to me.
Yeah. Typical.
It's my dog.
Or he wants to make a fire in the kitchen or something.
It's about as bad as when you make food for your teenager that stays in their room all the time. You yell to them 5 times that dinner's ready. Finally put it away because you finished an hour ago, and they come down and say, "What's for dinner?"
Well, I was married to a man who used to do that. And then he'd go out and get a Subway sandwich. I'm going, really? Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
That's okay. Good man. I'm not going to complain about it, but
hey,
yeah,
Renee,
that was true.
Renee, you were talking about living in the same town.
Yes.
I've lived within a 10-mile radius my whole life.
There.
Yeah. So.
And then there's me who lived 24 different places and God knows how many provinces and countries. Yep.
Nice.
But that's why I have to move every 3 years. It's just that thing, you know, you get the itch. Oh, been here for 3 years, gotta go now. This is the longest I've been anywhere is 7 years in one house.
I would like to actually read something else that came up. I actually forgot I even copied this and put it in a Word document. But I thought this was pretty good. It actually says, what are 3 of the most important skills for like teamwork or collaboration? And these are basically the things that we're talking about, but it's sometimes it's nice to see the kind of these bullet points and definitions. But it says to give and receive feedback from peers or other team members in order to perform the task well. So I like that. The fact that you can give and receive feedback. Share credit for good ideas with others. Also edification. So like, you know, just being able to say Lorianne is an amazing person, and really, you know, Renee, you should get to know Lorianne because she has a lot to offer, and I really think that the 2 of you would work well together. And then acknowledge others' skills, experience, creativity, and contributions. And then, of course, this is the one I like based on our conversations right now. Listen to and acknowledge the feelings, concerns, opinions, and the ideas of others, even if they don't align with yours. So that was kind of interesting. You know, when you think about that, like true collaboration is, I have maybe a different way that I would get from here to the store. And you guys may have, you know, 3 or 4 different approaches to how you would actually get there. And so I think that's important to at least understand. And you can learn, right? You can learn and grow from those things, even if you are right. I mean,
I just have to say, none of them are necessarily wrong, but some of them might be really stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are you trying to get there quickly, or are you wanting to see nature and observe things along the way, right? Because there's two different ways we can achieve this. Yeah.
Yes.
And again, it depends on your timelines. Are you in a hurry to get to your spouse because they're pissed off because you're late, or you want to just say, you know, I really don't want to get there yet.
So are you driving?
Just for your own, I'm after a stressed out day, not to see them right away. I'm just saying, just to de-stress yourself. Okay, I'm trying to be nice here, but it's true though.
Oh yeah.
Thank goodness. The only things I have to rush home to are my dogs. And trust me, I'll take a fast way home if I have to get to them faster than if I go, okay, well, I've only been away for 15 minutes, so I can take the long way home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny. Yeah, you're right. It depends on the situation too, which route you're going to take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think that's good. What I mean, does anyone else have any other things they want to add in on collaborating or teamwork?
And I think we're good. And I know that we have Renee has another meeting at 8 o'clock.
And Doc does as well.
Keep in Doc too.
Mm-hmm.
Doc, thanks again for being here. I just love this man. So I call him the patriarch here. He has more, as much as he says that he's not up and to everything, that he's lying. Because he shows up to all our mastermind groups with Barbaget, and he's always here, and so he probably knows more than all of us combined. Seriously. Thank you.
And it was very nice having you on, Renee. We hope that you will come back again.
Yes, it was. Nice meeting you.
So before we get off, is there a topic that anyone would like to discuss next week? Otherwise, obviously, we can start working on the next series, but I just didn't know if there was a topic that's right on the surface that anyone would want to talk about next week.
Renee, would you have any recommendations?
Well, I don't know what you've been talking about before, so I'll let you give the topics. But I would like to come back if you're okay with having me.
Please come back every week. We would love to have you.
Next week will be entirely in French, as we stated. So,
okay, sounds good.
Get ready for that.
And so who is going to give the presentation? Would that be Renee?
Yes, that's
Renée puis moi, on va parler en français, puis on va faire la présentation ensemble. Comme ça?
Okay, Lorianne, you take it away.
Je m'appelle Robert.
No parlez-vous français. So.
Okay, get on whatever that course is. You've got 1 week to learn French. Let's do it.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
All right, we'll let you go, Renee. Have a good night.
Forward to collaborating with you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.